Yeah, I probably need that.
I was supposed to do that. He's a little rattled though. The freeway's closed.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know I didn't even know they closed the entire freeway. I've never seen that before. Between, I think about 7,200 and about 54, it was completely closed out. So
A whole load of insulation on the back of the truck.
is that what it was?
Yeah, I went through it just after.
Oh, I didn't see the insulation. I just saw the cars. And yes, I did break the law, and I did commuter lane for several miles, and then pop the other direction. So I'm like, I'm presenting. So
You are live on the World Wide Web.
Let's say you're recording.
There might be a.
Yes, I did. All right, so we're gonna get into LinkedIn today. LinkedIn is a big topic. A lot of people don't really. Most people get it wrong, to be honest with you. The vast majority of people don't know how to do it right. They don't really have a strategy for it. It's like all other social media marketing mechanisms. We know that we're supposed to be doing it, but we don't necessarily know how to do it. Because it's such a big topic, I'm mainly today going to focus on your profile. Now, I know that seems like a simple easy thing, but it's actually very critical, and there's a lot of components to it. So, before we do that, a lot of people do not realize that that big blue chunk represents, compared to all the other social media platforms, how much traffic goes from your social media platform to your website. LinkedIn is by far the highest converting social media platform. And yet most of us treat it like a college directory, right? Or a place where we can post our resumes. In fact, that's how most of us write our profiles, unfortunately. So 64% of all business to corporate websites from social media sites come from LinkedIn. Again, that's the vast majority. Who knew that already? Who's using LinkedIn to drive traffic to their websites? Okay. Who's already having people go that way and they didn't even know that was happening? Okay. So, it's just a fun statistic. 40% of LinkedIn users use it every single day. They visit every single day. So they're looking at who's inviting them. They're going out and they're visiting profiles. Maybe they're even reading through the newsreel because the data there or the postings are a little bit more relevant to their profession than the things that you see on Facebook. A little bit less distracting as well. So, who's on LinkedIn? Right? So we're all on LinkedIn, but here's the thing. The people that you want to access, your target clientele, are also on LinkedIn. You will find a higher percentage of executives, C-level executives, a higher percentage of, believe it or not, billionaires, a higher percent of investors than you will find on Facebook. And they are more accessible to you. So, what matters on LinkedIn? We're going to go through only 3 major things today. Getting found, getting connected, and building relationships. So before we go there, let me tell a little bit about my story and my background. So while I was still in college, I decided I was sick of college. And so I went out and I bought a business. Dingy little manufacturing company. We were about $500,000 in debt. Vendor debt. No, we had the other kinds of debt too, but that was vendor debt. That was like collection letters every day in the mail. Because it was such a crappy business, we were able to negotiate basically a zero down on the business. Basically, we bought it for nothing except for, if we fix this thing and we turn it around, everybody that stays on the ship will get a chunk of change. We brought in some operating capital, very small amount, and in just about 18 months, we turned that into a multi-million-dollar success that we flipped. We sold it. So my background is actually in the turnaround space. I've built tech companies, I've built wholesale distribution companies. And you may wonder, why is that relevant to LinkedIn? Well, I was running a wholesale distribution company when I was in my 20s. And I was answering to a board, an investment board, and people kept asking, where'd you get your MBA? And I'm like, I know I had that somewhere. Put that. And I just started to feel self-conscious about it. And so at some juncture, I decided, you know what? I'm going to sell out all my shares. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to go on sabbatical, and I'm going to finish my education, which I did do. But when I jumped back out, I thought, hey, I'm just going to jump back out into the business world. I'll have all these investors flock to me because now I'm not only have all this background, but now I'm paper, right? Didn't happen that way. And I didn't know exactly who to network with. Fortunately, it was a time this LinkedIn thing had come around. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this thing out. So I jumped on LinkedIn, and within about 45 days, I'm very picky on the people that I accept into my LinkedIn profile. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to create a business process, a strategy here. I'm going to only go after people that I want to do business with. So that means I didn't invite any of my friends that were already on Facebook, unless they were already in business. That means I didn't invite any of my family members. I only went after business people. So 45 days, I had over 500 executive C-level connections. I had business transaction offers for over $1.4 million, 45 days flat, just following a simple process. So it's been a long time since that happened, and yet most of the strategies are exactly the same. They continue to work to this day. So let's go through your profile. Top 3 ways to improve your profile. Number 1, know your brand. What do I mean by that, know your brand? Some of those of you that know me know that I come from an artist heritage, famous artist in my family. I have 2 uncles that are world famous artists, literally best in the world at what they do. Now I have a 3rd uncle that is just as talented and skilled as those 2 uncles. And yet, if you did a Google search, I promise you, you could not find my Uncle Nolan. Now here's the thing about Nolan. So 3 uncles, all artists, 2 of them world famous, 1 obscure. 1 chose to be a wildlife artist. Still hasn't painted for Outdoor Life magazine for years, but yet still holds the record for the most covers of Outdoor Life magazine. The other one chose to be a religious artist. But what does Nolan paint? Nolan paints everything. He can do it all. He can do watercoloring, he can do Renaissance, he can do wildlife, he can do religious. He can do it all. But he never narrowed in on a brand. So in order for you to get accepted, when you invite somebody on LinkedIn, it's just like a website. You've got a matter of a few seconds for people to know who you are and what you're about. So you have to very, very quickly determine what that one thing is. So this is where normally I have a little fun. And I start looking for brands. I look at, let's see if we got any invitations today. Hey, boy, I'm be doing that. All right. Is Jim in this room? If not, it's all good. Okay, so I just got an invitation from Jim. Just from what you see right here, What would you say his brand is?
Entrepreneur.
He's an entrepreneur. What else do you know about him? He's creative. What do you think his business is?
Sitting his living room.
I don't know.
At home. Yeah, picture.
Probably some type of marketing, probably. Now, am I going to accept him? Well, potentially. It does say owner. That kind of fits into my class, right? My target clientele, the people I want to go after.
He and I shared an office for 3.5 years.
What you did?
Yeah.
With him?
Yeah, up at the Cafe Rio office up on Cottonwood Corporate Center.
Did you really?
He's a very good graphic artist. Is aligned with. But then here we're getting into the referral structure.
So now we're
Who
getting
knows,
the
something like
relationship
that.
part.
Yeah.
Well, let's bypass that for a second.
Who doesn't feel no?
Now I haven't gone to his profile yet. This is the first time I've ever seen it. But if you didn't read any of the words, what would you think this guy did for a living? Archaeology. You
Yeah,
say that?
it almost looks like Byzantine design or something.
Yeah, I would think something along those lines. Maybe he's a world traveler. Maybe he's a gladiator. It's possible. He could be a gladiator. Are you going to send a picture to him? How about you send a picture of me accepting his invitation? Accept. There you go. Now this is important though, because whatever's in that tile is going to make the difference on whether or not I click on his name. And now once I click there, I need to know who he is. So there's several things that are going to give me that indication. One, background. Who's currently using a background image? Let's say less than a third of the room. Maybe even a fifth of the room is using a background image. Why would a background image be important?
You can give a character to your personal brand.
Yeah, it definitely can. Now, I have personally, this is an admission, I have personally redone my profile multiple times. In fact, I update it constantly. Now, that may sound strange to you, but because most of us, we put in our work history and say, it's good. Everybody knows that I worked at Novell back in the day. Or everybody knows that I did a stint with Cisco, right? Now, is there ever a reason why I would leave work history off of my profile?
Doesn't fit your brand.
If it doesn't fit your brand. So, you mean all those years that I put in lawn mowing and landscape, that doesn't work? That doesn't add value to my brand? It doesn't, actually. It doesn't add value to my brand. Now let's just real fast, I want to look at, all right, by design. So it has the word design in it. It's a pretty dead giveaway. It's going to have right in here his summary, right, what he does. So let's go back to where I was, which is right there. Okay, so some stats you probably didn't know. Does anyone here, be honest, does anyone here not have a profile photo? You're the guy. Everybody look at him, turn around and stare. Make him feel bad. No, don't feel bad. Okay, it's not enough to just have a photo, but it is important to have a photo. It increases your chances of actually having people look at it when they're scrolling through. Hey, who do I want to connect with? If they don't see a profile picture, they're not going to click. I don't click if I don't see a profile picture. Do you want to know why? In the early days of LinkedIn, if you invited too many people that quote unquote you didn't know and they didn't accept your invitation, then LinkedIn would actually quarantine you for a period of time. Just shut you down. And do you know who the worst offenders were for not accepting your invitation, whether or not you knew them or not, people that didn't have profile pictures. So that's why I personally don't do it. I will never accept someone that doesn't have a profile picture, just because I got burned on it years ago. So the other reason, obviously, why you want to have a profile picture, or why profile pictures are important, is they signify your brand. Oh, let me go back. I've got some good ones on this. So let me just show you some fun things not to do. Here's Johnny! Babysitter with great rates.
Is that legitimate?
What's that?
Is that a legitimate or?
It is actually out there on LinkedIn, but it's just for fun. However, this one is out there. That is real. Artist at Rockstar Leads. Now, if you didn't see the picture, would you be interested in potentially looking at this person's profile?
Yeah. Everybody knows.
Right. If you're looking for an artist, potentially someone in creative, we're always looking for people in creative. But once you see the picture, there's no way. There's no way I'm accepting this kid. If he invites me, I'm not accepting him. Don't put pictures of you with your pets. This is not Facebook. This is LinkedIn. Your brand is important on LinkedIn. Now here's another one. Ladies, please, please do not do this. All right, that's a great question. Why would I not do this? Okay, let's think about this for just 1 second. Now, will it potentially get her profile views?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably going to get her profile views. Will it get her business? The right kind of business. Right? Will it? Will it? Oh, shoot, she's unemployed. All right, well, there's a reason why she was previously at Wells Fargo. Jessica, if you're out there, I'm sorry. But seriously, I see this all the time, that females putting pictures, their profile pictures, that look like they're trying to be on the front of Shape magazine or Cosmopolitan. Now, if you are a fashion model, yes, that's what you need. If you are a fitness instructor, yeah, you probably want to show that you're fit. But if you are a real estate investor, if you are a web developer, if you are anything else, this will not help you. I promise you. Okay? So, let's do this real fast. Anyone feel brave?
Besides me.
You give me. Brandon Smith.
Brandon Smith.
And I might have made some goofy mistakes. So
It's all good.
Get cut up.
Okay. First of all. Okay. So, what do we know about Brandon?
I think he's got a great boss.
You can tell that from the profile because I have time to keep it up. I mean, great cost.
Potentially an extra for the next movie with Zoolander.
Let's talk about the picture. Let's talk about the picture.
Okay.
What do you think?
So, profile picture. So obviously, he's looking right at you. So it will. So if you're scrolling through tons and tons and tons of profile pictures, this one will stand out. Like you will actually notice it, which is a good thing, right? That's a good thing. It'll make you look and see what he does. So, what does he do? He's an escrow officer. Now, this is where I'm going to challenge some conventional wisdom. This is not for your job title. If you're paying attention to your brand, that's not for your job title. Okay? And I'll explain why. Jump back to see if I'm This is tracking, I'm sorry. Okay. That's a useless statistic, but just so you know, you should have these skills. Bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills, mentoring skills. We'll get back to your title in just a second. Back to knowing your brand real fast. What skills do you want to put in there? You get to choose. You get to pick what skills you put in there. Right? So you want to put everything? Or do you want to put what aligns with your brand? So let's go back to Brandon here. We're going to scroll down. He was brave. Commercial real estate. Does that support his brand? Right? Real estate. Let's go down. Let's go down. Brokerage, land development. Those are all good things, right?
Can I add something? I had a career change from brokerage into title work. A lot of this stuff is legacy stuff, and I've adapted it. I've used this more for title work than I did in my commercial brokerage career at this point, but I have not adapted the brand to the new one based on some of my old stuff carries. Is that right? And the careers dovetail for sure, but I'm just curious.
So honestly, because it all crosses over in real estate, you're probably good. But what I see a lot of times, not on yours, I see things like PowerPoint, right? Or, just like different things on there that don't really make sense to your brand. So years ago, Jason's here, so everyone turn, make him feel uncomfortable. Oh, I know, it was bad. It was ugly. So, years ago, I decided I wanted to change my brand. So I told you I was in the turnaround space, and the role I always took on was sales VP. I knew how to generate sales. I was a master at it. I built organizations from kitchen table operations up to big sales teams making millions, and it was fun. But I got tired of managing sales managers and salespeople, and I decided I'm done with that. I'm sick of it. Right? We're gonna do something new. I want to make a transition into marketing. We got this new social media marketing space, and on my personal skills, I had this, it was all sales related. So you know what I did? Even though people had already endorsed, I went and deleted things that were skills that didn't align with my brand. I know that's really painful and hard to do, especially like, man, I finally got people to endorse me. They finally like me, right? So how meaningful are these endorsements? Just curious.
I endorse people who endorse me. So that's
You endorse people who
are.
What should we do with endorsements? So there's two. So do you really want to know why LinkedIn started doing this little endorsement thing?
Yes.
Okay. So has anyone ever heard of gamification? Right? Using game mechanics for non-game objectives. In other words, you're not playing Monopoly to win. You're now trying to fulfill a business objective. So they did not have a good currency. Any game scenario has to have an easy, simple, scalable currency, right? So on Facebook, it's likes and shares. On LinkedIn, we used to ask people to write me an endorsement. Well, that didn't really happen very often. Even when you invited people, unless you really knew them, it didn't happen very often. So they were kind of getting beat up in that world, and they thought, we need a currency. So let's make it really easy for people to endorse. So it shows up one day, and then everyone decides, oh, what do I do with this? And not only to make it even easier, they bring up the prompts and say, does Joel know about PowerPoint? Right? These different things.
Or two.
He does. He's very good at it. And so So they made it easy for you just to click on it and auto endorse. Well, a lot of people abuse this to try and get people to look at their profile, right? If I just endorse Levi, he's going to go out and see who I am. Now, at first that worked, I have to admit. At first that did work. I'd look and I'd see who had done it. And you know what? For people that don't have a ton of endorsements, it probably still will work, to be honest with you. But once you get the 99 plus, I'm hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of endorsements in there. I just don't have time to look at them. People keep endorsing me for the same thing, which, by the way, I didn't even realize. On mine, my number one, my highest endorsed skill. Do you want to know what it is? Startups. You know what's ironic about that? I used to hate startups. That's why I was a turnaround guy. Turnaround guy is like a business mechanic. You go in, you see what's wrong. If I just put a crowbar under that bad boy, that's going to be millions, right? Startups, where do I put the crowbar? Do we even have a crowbar, right? It was nerve-wracking for me. In fact, it was a challenge for me. I remember when I first did my first turnaround and lost all that money. Just kidding. But I remember it was a struggle. I remember I had to get the right people on the bus, but it was a personal thing for me. So now I'm probably on there endorsed a ton for it. Why? Because LinkedIn keeps suggesting it. But because I realized that it aligned with my brand, I actually started doing trainings on startups. I did more research on it and started doing more startups anyway. So it's a good thing. So let's go back to Brandon here. Let's see where we're at in this presentation. All right, number 2. This is where we're going to get into your title. Know your offer. So why is it we're going to get into the title? Because guess what, Brandon? This is not your job position. This is your offer. That is your offer. Make sense? Let me explain why. Now, I already accepted Joel's friend, but I haven't accepted Eddie yet. So, when I get the invitations, all I see is Eddie's name and Eddie's title. And that's going to tell me, and his picture, that's going to tell me everything I need to know. Everything. I'm going to judge him in less than a millisecond on whether or not I want to connect with him, whether or not I want to accept him, or even click on his profile. In less than a millisecond, it happens. You automatically look at that and go, Eddie, real estate, I'm out. Or, oh, that looks interesting. Now, if you have an offer there, something that grabs my curiosity, right? So, Kevin, see Kevin down here, he's a student. Now, why would I want to connect with Kevin? I can only think of one reason right now in my profession. If I'm hiring. If I'm hiring, I'm looking to nurture someone, right? Pull them into my organization. I would potentially connect with Kevin. Now, he's probably reaching out to me because he went to my alma mater. I went to Rick's, back when it was Rick's. Go Vikings, right? We sent football team. It was cool. We were cool. All right? Feeder program. Anyway. All right, it was all good. But Eddie here, whoops, let's go Eddie. Real estate broker, a credential. That's his offer. Now to go even further, let's just go to his profile. Does he not have a summary? Summary. Your summary is your pitch. It's not your work history. It's not, Levi is a high-powered executive with experience in Fortune 500 companies, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what your summary is for. Your summary is your pitch. So think of it like a really captivating article post or a great blog post. What's the most important component on a article or blog post?
Compelling title. First.
That's dead straight. The title is the most important part. So if your summary starts, Shelby is a very friendly, energetic, right? Where am I going to go with that? I don't know where to go with that. Unless I'm hiring, which is why most people write it. But we're entrepreneurs, right? So we need to write our profiles like entrepreneurs, not like people who are looking for jobs at Starbucks. Okay? So it's no summary, unfortunately. Let's just go real fast. So, this one's mine. This is probably the 50th time I've redone it. For some reason, I always convert highest when I put business growth strategies. I don't know, I play with that, I test it back and forth, but for mine, business growth strategies seems to be my thing.
What's your character count in that?
What's that?
What's your character count? What can you fit in there?
I think they've expanded it. It used to be the same as, I think it was like 23 or 26 characters or something, but they've expanded it. Like I just started blasting through. It's more than that now, but it used to be smaller. I remember back when you could fit like 3 things and you were done. So now I'm gonna save that for a minute, but I'm gonna give a teaser. So there are things in that title that don't have to do with my offer, but it's a good thing. Teaser. Okay, you're ready. Okay. All right, let's go back. Okay, see this gal right here? Denise isn't here, right? Denise isn't online. Okay, Denise. What do I know about Denise?
She likes green blobs.
What is that in the background? She doesn't even have a title. I know nothing about Denise. It's a lizard. It's a gecko. It's a gecko. What's your summary tell me? She worked in a fast-paced medical walk-in for 16 years. Okay. That will not do. Anyone else feeling brave?
Who wants Douglas McDonald?
Douglas.
There's a lot of things that.
MAC.
MAC.
The old spelling. Where are you?
Right there.
Is this you?
Nope,
That's not you.
McDonald. Yep. Junior at the end. JR. Oh, down the bottom. Second.
This one.
Yep.
There you are.
It's the J, Douglas J. McDonald.
Okay. All right. So Douglas J. McDonald. Oh, got it. Electrical engineer. What's your? Is that your venture?
So,
Electrical engineering. Is that your
yeah,
venture?
yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, from the discussion today, I'm moving more into kind of lean agile project management, kind of transformation of engineering groups, and that definitely does not say that there.
Okay. Do you know who's your target clientele?
Really, probably, well, it's probably going to be engineering managers.
Engineering managers. Okay. So engineering managers. So on your title, right? What are they going to want to know? Like, what about you will make them immediately click?
I look at it more as like a product development group transformation.
Okay.
Sure what the actual term might be.
What end result do they want? What's
What's
the benefit? Not the features. What's the benefit that they get by hiring you?
An agile approach to hardware development.
Agile approach. Okay. Is there any other benefits? I mean, like, is it faster? Is it better? Is it
Faster.
cooler?
It's gonna be faster, more visible.
Okay, fast, visible.
Do a lot of
Wait, fast, visible, agile.
agile.
What was the rest of it? Development.
Yeah, for
I don't know the technical term.
hardware development.
But basically, so that's what you're going to put in there. Fast, visible, agile. Is it hardware development?
Yeah, for
Great. That's your offer, right? That's the transformational value. And then after that, you can do a breaker bar, and you can put that you're the owner or the president or whatever it is, because that's a credibility play, right? So, you know, some of you that know my background know that when I first did this LinkedIn thing, I mean, I got in to sit down with people that were dealing with tens of billions of dollars, right? Well, part of that, there is a credibility play. I didn't have to put in there an executive title at the time. Right now, I'm mostly doing presenting and training and whatnot, but back then, that was critical. I had to have that title. And then they went and looked through, what's he done, right? Summary. So a couple things on your summary. This is actually really critical. We don't read blocks anymore. No one does. Years ago we did.
You said blocks?
Blocks. Blocks of words.
Paragraph.
Paragraphs. We don't read paragraphs. We don't read actual paragraphs. We're too lazy. We like to read 1 to 3 lines, 3 sentences max. We will not read a whole chunk anymore. Look at that, and it looks like an image to us. And so, because it looks like an image, boom, I'm past it.
So what do you think about like intro videos here in summary?
Intro videos?
Yeah.
Excellent. Any videos are excellent. Videos, I've been saying this for a while. If you're not using videos in your marketing, you will. It's only a matter of time. Because you won't be able to succeed without it eventually. And I could share some crazy stats on that for you. But yeah, videos are going to get you insane conversion.
Do you perceive videos to be the next search mechanism and to eclipse verbal search?
I think that it's going there. I think it's going there.
So the ability to put your brand into a moving image is something we should all be thinking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
YouTube is the second largest
Search engine in the world. For now. For now.
You can backlink a video like crazy too. So this is on YouTube. They don't, unlike the website, they not if you're backlinking crazy. But since Google's on the website, they let it ride.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
They can go into the top result in 2-3 days.
More like 2 or 3 minutes. You're right. No, I'm dead serious. I did this in front of a group of 300 people. Real-time optimization. Pick 3 terms, and we're going to throw up a stupid mock video. I'm going to hit the go button, and within 2 minutes, number 1 on all 3 terms. It was nuts. I felt like a rock star. I was sweating balls before it happened. So, on your summary, so remember what I said on, start with one grabber, like you would with the title. So I'm going to give you here goes freebie. So here are the top 3 ways we can grab people's attention. And this is actually, believe it or not, from analyzing the top TED Talks. Very, very, very top TED Talks of all time. Number 1, sounds kind of obvious, ask a question. So years ago when I wanted to be the number 1 searched profile for gamification, before people really knew a lot about gamification, except for people in San Francisco, LA, and New York, my first thing on my summary said, want to play a game. And I literally wrote my entire summary as a game with points and everything. And at the end, anyone that got to the end of it always contacted me. Always. Honestly, within 2 or 3 days of me optimizing my profile for gamification, I was getting calls from New York, LA, and San Francisco. It was nuts. Okay? So, a question. A bold or shocking statement. I won't go with the one I normally go with. Well, we'll just use one for Seth. Like, all marketers are liars, right? That's a bold and shocking statement. You know,
You need something grandiose that is going to grab a person's attention, and whether you're telling the truth about it or not, you want them to inquire with him.
you want to have some premise for backing it up, right? So that gets into the third one, which is, you know, use a statistic, a shocking statistic. I think that's the one I'm using. I can't remember which one I'm on right now. I think I use a statistic. So nearly 90%, because I use a statistic, I can actually write a longer. 90% of Fortune 500 companies dominated 50 years ago, blah, blah, blah. They're out of business, they're bankrupt. People see a statistic and we believe it, we want to know about it. And then it led into a question. By the way, you can combine any of those. There are at least 5 other ways, 5 other really good grabbers that you can use and combinations. But for today, just focus on those. Ask a compelling question, do a bold or shocking statement, or use a statistic. Okay? And usually it's better, critique myself a little there, usually it's better if it's just one sentence or it fits on just the top line. And then return down and go to your next deal, right? Let me go back here. Okay. Let's see. All right. I'm just gonna look at your skills. PCB design. So if I was shopping for that, I would know.
Yeah, I gotta delete some of those.
It's over my
That's not
head.
what I wanna sell.
Let's see. Let me do this. I think we're ready to get into the next topic. That's kind of cool here.
And I know that we had an accident on I-15. How many of you need to leave at 1 o'clock? Just a couple of you? Okay.
Who's leaving at one?
Okay.
Everybody turn and look and make it look Okay.
So you have to try to wrap by 1:50.
Okay, no problemo.
Okay.
We are into the final section. Use keywords. Who knew you could optimize a LinkedIn profile to be found in Google? Who knew you can optimize it to be the #1 in your category on LinkedIn search? The #1 in a matter of days or less. You can. It works the same way as optimizing a website. It works the same way as optimizing a video. Well, slightly different, but close. Very similar components, right? So, I mentioned on my profile, there are words in there that aren't necessarily offer-oriented, right? I still have gamification in there. Why do I have gamification in there? Because people still search for me for that. I still consult on that, right? I still want it to be, if someone types in gamification, then I'm the guy that comes up, right? So people can have conversations with me about gamification because I'm a geek and I'm a nerd and I love it, right? Gamification's cool. But if you know your brand, you know what keywords surround your brand, then I would recommend tucking them throughout your profile. Don't overdo it, don't keyword stuff, right? Does anyone know what keyword stuffing is? Keyword stuffing is what got SEO companies in big trouble a few years back. But there's a reason why Google keeps changing their algorithms. Because guys like me try and game it, right? We try to figure out, all right, what are they doing? How can I leverage it? And before Google put all these social metrics and different things into it, so first rule of search. This is first rule of Google. This is first rule of all search. Relevancy is the first rule, first priority of all search optimization. So years ago, it was if you had the right domain name, and then like, you know, engineering, or if it was, you know, video optimization, videooptimization.com, guess what? I would own the space just because I own that URL. And then I put that throughout my website. So keyword stuffing was where people took images, and then behind them, they literally took the word, like say you're selling socks, socks, like 1,000 times. And Google said, bogus, and they obliterated those websites where you couldn't find them if you tried. So, gamification, let's see, if you look, gamification, in my profile currently, it's really small, you probably can't see, there's 8. I have it 8 different times. Now wait, now this time I actually don't have it in my summary, which I did before, I had it times in my summary. But if it's not in the summary, where else could I be tucking gamification? Work history. Skills as well, but it's actually in work history. In fact, here we'll scroll down just for giggles. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, there it is. It's actually in a title. What? It's in a title. Well, that's just downright sneaky, right? And I promise you that will. So, in the next, so less than 2 seconds, anyone have a brand statement in their head? They know this is the brand I want to own, no matter what. No matter what. Just performance-based performance-based SEO, right? Yeah. Okay, what's your name? Mark. H. Wait, H what? There I. Wait. This is you. Yeah. We're already connected, my friend. Yes. Performance-based SEO game. No rank, no pay. Ooh, see that? That's an offer. You guys catch that? That's an offer right there. That's what that is. Okay, it's in his title. Is it anywhere else?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you come up first?
I'm on the first page. I'm obsessed with all that feature.
Okay. Now, do you know how many people are looking for it, actually searching for it?
Branding is
Okay, so you're trying to
small search.
Okay, so you're trying to brand it. So that's another component, and that's another big long conversation. But you want to know how much of the market is looking for a term. So why did I start getting calls from LA and San Francisco? Niches to riches, right? There weren't a lot of guys out there doing gamification when I started doing gamification. So I was easy to find. Okay, we are to the final playoff here. Questions?
Is there a good way to find out, and I sound really stupid, I'm sure, but to find out the top search terms for your industry, Google Analytics, without paying for it? You can find out, hey, when people are looking for real estate or these types of things, what are they searching for in my state?
Keyword research.
I'm going to let him answer it.
I'm obsessed about keyword research.
Okay.
And you gotta, if you're gonna sit at the end of the dock of the bay with your toe in the water,
Yeah.
while your competition's swimming, the first thing you gotta do is get that leg in and get used to acclimated to that water. Keyword research is getting that leg in. You gotta get in and swim. And keyword research is exactly what you need. So get yourself a Google keyword.
So, here's the thing. There's two facets to the question you just asked. One is just Google general, right? And the other is LinkedIn specific. LinkedIn specific is harder. They don't have tools for us the way that Google general does. So what he's recommending you do is you, in your Google, you have a Google account, right? So on all the products that are in there, there's an AdWords. You need to go ahead and sign up for AdWords. You have Keyword Planner. You can use Keyword Planner to do research and find out what keywords people are looking for on Google. But on LinkedIn, there is another trick. No. Find someone that has a really good, really optimized profile and see what LinkedIn recommends as others similar to. Right? And you'll see, then go through, and I do this all the time. I go and I look through the keywords, I see what people are using to optimize. But
So go to top producers, look at people who've got better profiles and say, hey, what kind of.
What are they doing?
Using in here.
and that's the
You can
secret
find
of
what the heck
anything.
they
Like,
I like it.
you know, that's the fastest shortcut for anything, right? Find someone who's doing what you want to do and see what they're doing, right? So, another question. That was a great question, by the way.
Do you use the advanced search on LinkedIn much for different things?
The advanced search.
Yeah, I mean, when you're actually out looking for things as opposed to getting people to come to you.
I don't use it a lot personally, but I know it can be. It's helpful.
What's the best tool on LinkedIn for sending messages? If you're connected?
Ooh!
Oh, hey,
What if I told you not to?
Say you're a liar. No. I'd say I still want to. What's the best approach then?
All right. So, you're using LinkedIn for list building, right? You're gathering your connections. I actually recommend that when you send the messages, you don't send it in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's going to make you like add in, and everybody's going to see. Everyone said export your list, do a mail merge in like your Gmail account. Have it come from a personal account.
So am I sending it via email instead of sending it through the LinkedIn system?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only time I send messages in LinkedIn, typically, is I'm inviting someone to connect with me.
But isn't your open rate going to be higher through LinkedIn?
No.
Really?
Let me explain why. There's a statistic that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. What percent, or anyone remember what percentage of people visit LinkedIn daily? 40. Thank you. All right. Yes, there you go. Woo-hoo! All right. Anyone know what percentage of working professionals open their email daily? Like 100%. Does anyone not open their email daily? Seriously? Discipline, man. That's awesome. That's your reason right there. Now, there's a whole set of strategies behind sending those emails and getting those emails open, and writing the right kind of email title, and mapping out your messages in your emails so that they convert. That's for another time. If you guys, actually, you know what, Joel, have you send out to everyone? We're doing a full day of LinkedIn training in October. And if you want to be invited to that, I'll have Joel send out the invite for that. If you need help in between then and now, I'll give you my personal email address. So I just promise to spam it. It's just levi.mcpherson@gmail.com. I have literally dozens of email accounts that they all flow there. So reach out to me directly if you want help in your business. If you've got a sales organization, I can actually get your sales organization converting on LinkedIn instead of getting rejected like everybody else. So.
A real easy way to let me know that you want to be able to get the information. This has actually been a really good group because it affects all of us. J.MP, which I'd like to say is Joel Meister Post, I just haven't get it correctly. J.MP/open-circle-survey. There's a short survey that we have there. I'd really appreciate your input. And if you'd like to be able to continue corresponding with Levi, give us some also some input on what you thought about his presentation. I'd like to get him into the rotation here on a regular basis, and I very much appreciate it. All of you are welcome to stick around as long as you'd like to. If you haven't had a chance to check out Holodeck, Andy's here. Should be more than glad to show you around. This has been a great showing, and September is going to be very strong for us as well. You want to come back sometime after your next session in September?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll have you the same rotation to be the fourth Thursday of September. We'll go ahead and bring you back in, and we'll concentrate on something else. Fantastic. Thank you. Again, that's J.MP/open-circle-survey.
We have a question.
Yeah.
I'm wondering oh, you can throw it now?
I need it. Yeah.
They're less effective. I'll say that. Oh, I forgot to show you. You Google my name. When people ask me for a business card, I can Google my name. That was the first. I own my grandson. And then basically what I'm assuming that this is so this is a volume building, so you're probably looking to maybe partner with faster. So for that, I probably
When you say put something there, put something there.
walk everywhere. Title, background, your summary.
Thanks for coming, sir. I will say, you know, I have a question for you.
Grow your energy by through one week. So this is thousands. Created well, the company was cash, which is our insurance, lessons, more stuff. And well, I created a group called checklist. So that for our goal we create a checklist. So if you were in a career, you wanted to do a charity I grew this just by myself. Now let's come to that's what I like to do.
So now instead of spending.
Keyword research. That's basically how you have it.
Obviously, you did awesome neighborhood group, something like the market already, there's already a market, there are already people who like.
So, I mean, if you're a dentist, you don't care about dentists. If you're a chiropractor, I don't really care about chiropractic. I have websites and marketing just for. So if I have keyword research, so everybody on like $100 who are obsessed about the latest research for their keyword research and analysis.